Hello, I'm Dr. Howard. Have you ever wondered why positive affirmations might not work for you sometimes? It's a very simple answer. You don't believe them. It's hard to make something you don't believe into an intention field. And positive affirmations work because of an intention field that you set up. And you're trying to force them if you don't believe them. It's not a matter of whether they might be true, they might not be true. We have some basic beliefs that we just hold fast to. Alfred Adler, back in the 20s and 30s, he developed his theory of psychology and psychiatry based on studying healthy people. Freud developed his model studying unhealthy people. Very much the way it works today with our medical research. They study unhealthy people and compare people to unhealthy people by defining the first set of unhealthy people to be healthy. It's a little weird, but that's what we do. And it's been happening way, way back. Hundreds and thousands of years, people have been doing the same thing. Adler got very good results, and as a result, his followers were banned from practicing psychology until around 1954, when they were finally able to get jobs. Freud was very, very good at this, running smear campaigns. He was very smart, and he helped some people. I can't say the man was a charlatan. He wasn't, and he was sincere from what I understand. He was also very good at dragging things out and making money, which I don't think was his purpose. However, we're getting back to Adler. And Jung was in there too, and he did some very good work with his form of psychology and his models. These were all models, and you have to realize that. Adler's model is no more real than Freud's, which is no more real than Jung's. They are models, and we use them. Anyway, what Adler said is that we are herd animals. We tend to follow the leader. We feel good when we're doing what everybody else is doing, and we feel good when we're helping people. It's only when we're thwarted in our attempts to help people that we turn inward and withdraw from society and get very grasping and not very helpful. And we call that state neurotic. Adler said that the problem comes in because we have to figure out how to live in this world as soon as we're born. And as soon as we start interacting with people, we have to figure out rules for getting along, rules for, well, if people do this, what does it mean? What should I do? Am I in danger? And we come up with these rules before we can even speak. Adler, and we keep them the rest of our life unless we at some point as an adult, think about them and actually change them, which is a difficult thing to do. It gives us our quirks. People go into a childlike behavior. That's what they're doing. They're going back into these basic behavior patterns that they figured out. Nobody taught them to them. Well, some of them we did. If you keep hollering at a kid until the kid becomes deaf and doesn't listen to you anymore, you've trained the kid not to listen. Don't talk at your children. If you need the children to stop doing what they're doing, pick them up and move them to a different part of the room without a word. Works wonders. Now, the only time it doesn't work wonders is if you're inconsistent. So when you pick the kid up, know in your mind you're going to pick that kid up till he's 42 years old if necessary, and the kid picks that up. Somehow they know. And they immediately stop their behavior and never do it again. I've seen it over and over. I'm trained in Adlerian family counseling, by the way. That's just a sideline. That's another area of training. I collect them. Anyway, Adler called these behavior patterns, he called them our way of seeing the world through a set of rose-colored glasses. In other words, we see it the way we see it, and nothing's going to change that. We're going to assume it means this because as a young child, before we could even speak, we assumed that it had to mean that. Gary Craig, who came up with tapping, he calls it seeing the world through a set of rose-colored, no, that's Adler. He called it the writing on our walls. Gary Craig's tapping is EFT, emotional freedom technique. Works very well, extremely well. It works so well that even though as a child I learned you touch something hot and you get burned, using tapping, if I touch something hot, I don't necessarily get burned. In fact, I don't. I have been able to grab hot metal pot handles on a stove accidentally. And you know you grab a hot metal pot handle, it's not you reach, you let go. You can't let go for a while. Then you let go and say, uh-oh. Tap. These are acupuncture points. Three, 4 rounds of that, saying, while I'm doing that, saying, uh-oh, burned myself. Oh, well. Burned myself again. Burned myself. No blisters, no pain, no nothing. I overrode the writing on the walls. It's as if I never learned as a child you blister when you grab something hot, so I don't blister. I still tap just to make sure my body remembers I don't blister, and indeed I don't. And I've done it more than once. It's not just a one-time thing. So these things work. It's what we believe, what we learned as a child. And if we learned as a child that something works this way, and now as an adult, we're trying to use a positive affirmation to say it works the other way, it doesn't necessarily work. Some people can make that change. Others can't. Most of us can't. And so we need some techniques to talk about this, to figure out how to make a truth statement be a truth statement. Be a positive affirmation needs to become a truth statement. It's something that gets written on our walls, becomes a writing on our walls that this is the truth. And when we do that, the positive affirmation will work. There are several ways of doing positive affirmations. And a little bit more theory first, because of some of the ways I'm going to tell you to make this work. We used to think that our memories stay in our head, that there are chemicals in there and all our memories are in our head. And then they discovered there wasn't enough room in our head for all our memories. No matter how you encoded it, there wasn't enough room in there. Not enough molecules. So then they decided that it's spread out through our body. And this is one of the latest theories. But there's new theories that go past this. The new theories are that our memories are in our field. They're in our energy field. That's where we store the information. And the information is stored as a thought coupled with a feeling. And that reacts with our limbic system, so that we react very strongly. When one of those memories, when our limbic system is stimulated, we pull the memory of what the rule is from our field, and we put the energy blockages that go with that are immediately put into place. So our chakras are immediately thrown out of balance. Our meridians are thrown out of balance. And we're just like we were when we first learned that, made that rule. We're a 1 or a 2-year-old child all of a sudden, and there's no reasoning with us. We just believe what we believe. There are ways to now change that belief. If you want to believe that you are a happy person when you're normally in a situation that you're normally unhappy, it doesn't help to just say, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy in this situation. And your subconscious mind says, no, you're not. What kind of crap are you giving me? There are ways to do this, and here's how you do it. There's a bunch of different ways to do this. You can use your pendulum to clear your blockages. Only have somebody else do the clearing, because if you try to clear your blockages with your pendulum and your subconscious figures out what you're doing, it will make sure your pendulum gets reprogrammed. It's not going to work necessarily. But you can have somebody else clearing your blockages. They can take their pendulum, and while you're trying to make a positive affirmation, they can clear your blockages. That's their intention field. You're doing one thing, and it's quite possible. If you all stand, put your intention on a wall so that you have to, if you look ahead, you have to raise your eyes up. Still, you're looking, your face is that way. Your eyes are looking up at it. That helps to set it in your mind that this is a new intention, that this is a new truth. If you are bouncing on a rebounder while you're doing that, it's even more effective. And it takes about, I think about 17 seconds of continuously doing that for your brain to say, okay, it's real. It's a new program. Let's see, you can also take a red light or a red laser. Don't hit yourself in the eye with the laser, but the red light, and work on your ear points. Just move back and forth while you're looking up and reading through that intention over and over again a few times for at least 17 seconds, and just keep getting that light across your ear, all over it. It will clear all the acupuncture points. Now, it's an interesting thing. As I said, there is a memory that goes with this feeling. With a feeling, the feeling links the memory to the limbic system. When we take a memory in, some of the latest research is starting to say when you retrieve a memory from the field, you have to store it back or you lose it. So your brain is determined it's going to store back that memory back there. Well, if you clear the energy associated with it, there's no blockages. So if it puts it back out there, it'll be stored without the energy blockages, without the feeling. It's just a memory. It has no effect on you. And so your brain will hold off. That's what that 17 seconds is. Your brain, and maybe it's 18 and maybe it's 16, but that's what I've been told, 17. Your brain will hold off as long as it can for storing that memory back out there. So if you clear all the energy associated with those blockages, eventually the brain's going to have to store it back out there as a memory without the blockages. It's gone. It's erased. Now you put the new memory in that you got from looking up and reading it over and over again a few times, and you now have made a positive affirmation that is true. It's a truth statement for you at this point. Now, there's an easier way to do it. It's called Aquaware 5. Because if the computer is doing it, your brain is not going to be able to intercept and change the message unless all of a sudden you can't hear, think, or see. That's it. You can program any new intentions that you want. You can make truth statements true. You can make affirmations true. Your mind does not have a chance, or not much of a chance. It'll try to figure out how, but it's difficult to come in and say, that's not true. It'll be true. It'll be your new writing on your walls. It'll be your new filter in your rose-colored glasses. You can also go to an ask and receive practitioner. The ask and receive therapy people do wonders. And I noticed that lately they're busy clearing acupuncture points with red lasers while they're doing their thing. And they can do remarkable work and provide help. I've had training in EFT. I've had training in matrix reimprinting. I first learned from matrix reimprinting class about ask and receive. Cheryl and I both have figured out ways where we can use it very effectively and help people. And that now combined with Aquaware 5 and Peter's other programs gives a tremendous arsenal for helping people and helping ourselves. It's easy to help other people in many cases. It's difficult to help ourselves if we're trying to do it ourselves. And some people are programmed that we have to do it ourselves, which makes it triply hard. It's not just 1 and 1 equals 2. Sometimes 1 and 1 equals 3, especially when we're trying to do it on our own. And so you can use these things in combination and get a friend to work with you and help you with some of these so that you don't figure out a loophole. One of the tricks in using these techniques is keep your affirmations simple. Don't put so many instructions into your affirmation that God says, oh, I can help him with this. I'll make this affirmation work. But he specifically said it had to work this way, so this whole part of his life is still screwed up. Trust God. Make the affirmations simple. Make your truth statements simple. Make your intention fields simple. If you'll notice, Peter's intention fields that come, intentions that come with Aquaware 5 are very simple. Quite often you say, well, but does he mean this and this and this? Assume he does. Your life will be easier. God bless. See you tomorrow.